Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Chop Talk. I am your co-host, Andre C. Right over that place, that way. It's the Cat Von He's Princess herself. It's Melba. How you doing, Melba?
I'm doing great, Andre. It was a weird day today, though. I was up a little later than I would expect yesterday because the show ran a little late and we talked a lot after the
Mm-hmm.
show. By the time I got home and made the obscene amount of makeup that I put on my face worthwhile with pictures and whatever, I went to bed very late. She slept through her alarm today. So she took a day off from the gym. And it could explain why I'm cranky. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm reacting to you not going to. You're an everyday gym
No.
person.
Well, my brain doesn't shut up. The gym shouldn't either. You know what I'm saying?
You're missed no days off. You're you-
I
you're you're
know.
you're, you're if he was straight, the it could be Darren Young's lady if he was straight. Miss
Fred
no days
Rosser?
off. Fred Rosser, that's it. I said it wrong. Mister No Days
No,
Off.
that
He could
was
be
his
Miss.
other name.
He's Mister No Days Off, isn't he?
He is. He is.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Dalton's
oh, did I
best.
say his actual? Did I say Darren Young?
You sure did.
Wow, fucking blast from the past there. Wow.
You didn't even miss a beat either. You just kept going with it.
Yeah,
It was a fun weekend, though. We had taken a real great show yesterday.
we did.
We
We did.
did.
That RCW Battleground, which we were here to talk about. Really good time. I had a blast with that show, hanging out with you,
Mm.
Evan, Eric, and Matt Underwood sitting right behind us. It was a great time,
Yeah.
man. I had a really good time watching professional wrestling this weekend, and we just only one really disappointing match on the card. Otherwise, everything else was
Mm.
just great. And I'm gonna be honest. The time like that match was just terrible. Like
Which one,
absolutely,
sorry?
the 6-man tag, absolutely just shit.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
it's the match I wish I would have been in the bathroom for, and not the heavyweight title match between Harlon Abbott and Dalton Castle, where I had to go to the bathroom like right at the start of the match, and I got
If
back for the
choices were
ending.
made.
Yeah, so yeah, wasn't too feeling too good that yesterday evening, so I had to deal with that during half through the show. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk some RCW Battleground. Before we do that, I want to thank each and every one of you. Appreciate all the support you've given us here. If you can, please keep liking the video, subscribing to the channel, commenting down below, because that's where we really love talking to you guys about professional wrestling.
Mhm.
Don't forget to share it out to all your friends, family, and strangers. And also
Brothers,
don't
Bryce, Agnes's great aunt.
don't forget to hit that notification bell to be alerted every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong.
Hello. And I know this show has been on SNM Radio. I want to thank our friends over at SNM Radio for co-hosting all of our Japanese wrestling shows.
Yeah. So much fun. Such
Yes.
a great opportunity.
Heck yeah. So let's get into it. I don't have graphics for this one because they don't really put out much for graphics. I know there was a Son of Irish and a Camikaze one, but I didn't download them. We're going to get into it from February 3rd in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. We were talking RCW Battleground at the Norwood Legion. It was kicking off with the Alberta Heritage Title. It is Bobby Sharp defending the title against Cody Mac. Cody with Cody's drop kicks are pretty good, man.
Mhm.
This we've really get to watch. I've got to watch him evolve in professional wrestling from working with Sydney Steele up until now. Like just what he's turned into as crude oil Cody Mac, man. From the Chimera era to now having like crude oil Cody Mac. Like, this guy's so good, man. Cody doing a dive and Bobby literally spearing him out of the air looked really good. I typed that wrong. Bobby dripped Cody on his head. I wrote dripped, but he was going for like a spin out slam, and he like dropping Cody on his head, and like everybody was like, "Oh my god!" The crowd,
Dripped. Okay. I
yeah.
understand the reference now.
I typed dripped instead of dropped. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That was a little scurry. That was a little scary at that point, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "Ooh, Jesus!" Like I wasn't sure if he was like seriously hurt or not. So yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Bobby stops short, avoided the drop kick, and then so Cody goes up, goes to the drop kick, and then just crashes to the mat. And Bobby gets the Boston Crab, but Cody gets to the ropes. Bobby hits the frog splash, and this match also is a 10-minute time limit match. If Cody
Mhm.
win, Bobby retains his title.
Mm.
Um, or it can end by pinfall by Bobby too. Hits frog splash, can't get the pin right away. Cody kicks out, puts the foot on the ropes with 2. Bobby hits another frog splash, but Cody kicks out. Cody finally gets a spear, but time expires as he's crawling over to get the pin. So
Mhm.
after at a 10-minute time limit draw, Bobby Sharp retains the RCW Alberta Heritage Championship.
Mhm. Mhm. I can't recall because the sound in the shows beforehand were a little it was a little sus. It was a little questionable. I don't know if this was a new theme song for Bobby Sharp, but I enjoyed it. I'm used to
Mm-hmm.
think hearing Volbeat for him, but I really, really enjoyed this one. It's kind of like a evolution for him, if you will. Um, I Cody Mac and Bobby Sharp at the last RCW show that I went to that you weren't able to come to, but I actually really enjoyed this match a lot better than the first time around with those two. I felt that it was a little bit better. I don't know. I just really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Bob has always been a very solid worker over the years that I've been seeing him. Think when I first started watching 7 years ago at PWA was when I started seeing more of him, and he's always been very, very good. Cody was someone I had not really seen too much. I think the first time I saw him was at that clandestine show and he tagged with Chris Parrish, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to see the whole match because I was
Working.
I was working. I didn't know I was working, but I was working. So yeah, I didn't really get to see too much of it. But what I have seen in RCW has been very, very impressive. He does very, very well. He's got the crowd really in the palm of his hand, very, very over with the crowd. I think he's gonna do very, very well. I wouldn't mind seeing them go again. Just because, when that kind of time limit expires, very similar to that NJPW TV title there. Um, when it expires, you kind of feel that kind of letdown. It's like, if we only had 5 more minutes, what could we have gotten? So I'm
Or
looking
even
forward to
30
maybe
more
seeing them do it again.
yeah, even 30 more seconds. Maybe Cody could have got
Mm.
over and got the pin.
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
can't do these half minute matches. It's hard
10,
enough for me to count as it is.
10.5 minute time limit match.
So specific.
So
Blah 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 blah.
specific. So Pacific.
Blah.
So Pacific. So we're
What
gonna
you
move
said.
on. We're gonna move on to a 6-man thing that happened. Sid Greed versus Sid Greed, Rick Jules, and the Canadian Goose, the
Mm.
family Jules, taking on old school violence of Steve, very not wild. Steven got no styles, and Vince, I don't think he's from Austin. Yeah, this match, I took 4 notes. Sid dies onto Vince before the match. Lynn and they crash into the fans on the front in the front row in front of us. Um, Vince whips a chain at Jules, and it fucked up his shoulder for the entire match. Um, Jules getting and he's throwing the arm around, but you could tell he's like hurt. But he gets forever uppercuts in the corners, and then to Vince and Steve, not so
Mm.
wild. And then he hits like these just like thumping cannonballs on them in the corner, looking like he crushed them both.
Yeah.
But in the end, Wild hits I think a Falcon Arrow. I don't know. It didn't look kind of like a Falcon Arrow. And Vince drops a fist drop on the Goose, and they get the win. Yeah.
If you were to look up clusterfuck, like an actual clusterfuck, like legitimately cluster fuck, this should have been there. I did not enjoy this at all. I don't even
Nope.
want to talk about Stephen Wilde because it's just it does a disservice to the fans having to talk about him. There's just nothing enjoyable for me about him.
Nope.
I was disappointed with the chain spot. I didn't like seeing that. Wasn't Wax styling a match to my knowledge.
Like he whipped him with a steel chain in the shoulder from behind, and his arm was like looking like he took his shoulder out for the whole match. It was hard for him to lift his arm.
Yeah, and in these kind of matches, like it's very easy for everything to kind of lose control, and that was kind of like I never felt that the match really actually got under control at any point in time. It was just glorious chaos, but not even glorious. It was just chaos. It's weird when Steven Styles is the voice of reason and the best person on the team.
That and that's only because he has good suplexes.
Yeah, his suplexes are so good.
That
Like, yeah.
I'll give Steven credit, man. His suplexes are crisp as fuck. His snap suplex
Yeah.
is great. His just standard overhead suplex is just it's always crisp, man. Like he's got good
Mhm.
suplexes, and he's got he's actually got a really good release German when he does it. So
Ooh.
yeah,
Well, maybe we can see that sometime. I just felt
yeah.
like on his team, he was the only person who seemed to seemed to be in the right headspace of being in the match and made sense being in the match, and he kind of kept his team organized for as much as he could. It
Mm.
kind of felt like Vince Austin was a very loose cannon in this one, and then there was that other guy.
At least there wasn't a loose explosion.
This was the worst match I think that you chose to boo Goose on, though.
Yeah, I started booing Goose. By the end, I was like, I'm not booing him anymore. Like I stopped booing Goose the part way into the match. And I'm like, I can't boo him anymore. This team this team he's facing is terrible. Because I was still cheering for Jules and for Sid. I was just booing
Yeah, we
Goose.
love Sid.
I was cheering for them. I was just booing Goose because I had to. Because I was gonna cheer for him in the main event. I had to boo him in his tag match. That's
Yeah,
how it
but
works.
like I said, that this is just like chaos and cluster. There's one point where Sid just exited stage left. I didn't see him. I
Just
was like,
grabbed
dude,
his
already.
he just grabbed he had a smoke in his pocket from while he was wrestling and went out the door
Yeah,
with the smoke and just left and said fuck it, I'm going to smoke like
I
after the
mean,
match instead of doing his around the ring stuff.
fair, given what he was going through, probably fair. I would need the smoke too.
This is actually more than I thought we'd talk about this match.
Yeah. Let's talk
Yeah.
about the other stuff because there was some good shit after this.
Yeah, so we moved on to the RCW British Commonwealth Champion, and it is nasty Nate Nixon challenging the champion of the British, Tommy Billington of the new Bulldogs. Sick dude, Tommy Billington's dropkick is phenomenal. Like
Yeah.
you were telling me before this that you found this guy to have like zero charisma.
This match he did.
I thought, yeah, he turned up the intensity here with Nate, and I think
hmm
Nate brings it out of people though. Like
hmm
he's such a good face
hmm
that he can draw that heelness out of Tommy. Like I got to meet him after the show, very nice gentleman, but like, dude, but his in ring,
So good.
um,
Mhm.
yeah, sick drop by Tommy. The Ishii style sliding lariat by Nasty Nate
Yes.
Nixon. Um, Tommy running Nate into the post on the floor, like shoulder first, is wrecking that shoulder on the post on the floor, going to the shoulder. Hits a
Mhm.
beautiful high cross in the ring. Um, but when Nate kicks out, he launches Tommy up in the air. It was so
Oh
good.
yeah. So
Yeah,
good. That's what
they re-
happens when you don't skip arm day.
well, and they really played up the size disparity because Nate is
Mhm.
so much taller and thicker. And Tommy, don't get me wrong, the kid's like ripped, but he's still
Mhm.
a smaller dude,
Mhm.
right? So yeah, like I hope he doesn't go the way of his uncle in putting too many muscles on a body frame like that, which was what Dynamite Kid did. But
I mean, he's on his way to being like an Ishimori Taiji style too, right? I mean,
yeah,
Taiji is very, very, very small, but also very jacked, very built, still very, very movable.
but
Um,
he's a leaner jacked where
Yeah, 100%.
Where Dynamite Kid got on substances and got himself far too big for his frame, which I don't want to see happen to Tommy, and I hope he's learned from the mistakes of his family.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more frowned upon nowadays in the bodybuilding thing. It still happens, but like it's a little bit more frowned upon. There's a little bit more access to other more safe things.
And the fact, sorry.
As an older person who struggles to put on that muscle, I can tell you that creatine does wonders for me. They would probably I would recommend a half dose on that one. So it'll do wonders for him. That's all I wanted to say. Go ahead.
And a lot of, like, again, the smaller wrestler isn't as overlooked in today's day and age in professional wrestling. Like, you know what I mean? Like the smaller wrestler. Look at there's some great guys in WWE, AEW, New Japan that are small guys that are top of the card. So yeah, it's also a very different world. But like, dude, the kid is just so crisp, man. Hard right forearm, and then Nate does this one knee backstabber to, like,
oh yeah,
looks so good. There's a nice top rope elbow drop by Tommy going like 3/4 of the way across the ring. Like, he looked great. Nate roll like, so Tommy goes for a high cross. Nate catches him, rolls back, stands up, and just hucks him across the ring with a follow-away slam. Nate and Tommy training forearms. Nate hits a sweet Uranagi for 2. Tommy dodges a knee in the corner and hits 3 really good Germans. Nate dodges an attack and Tommy's going to like attack him on the ropes. He jumps up and goes through the ropes, and Nate dodges, and Nate comes sliding through, nasty German through the ropes. Look great.
Yes.
In the end, though, the ref, like, Tommy pulled the ref in the way of the running knee in the corner, and then the ref got kind of got discombobulated. And Tommy gets the low blow, hits a pretty sick looking tombstone, then goes up to the top, hits the splash off the top, and gets the win. Didn't care for the ending of this, but this match up to the end was pretty goddamn phenomenal. And if it was for the match right after this, actually, you know what? This was probably the best match, like, in ring, the best match of the night. The Rumble was fun as an overall feeling, but if you go at pure work rate, this was the best match of the night.
I agree.
Yeah. The next one. The next one. Maybe. The next one's close, but
yeah, the next one was pretty close. Always a treat to see Nasty Nate have our little nasty dance. The beginning there was nice. You kind of covered everything that I remember from this match. You're absolutely right. I mean, he was Tommy.
Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy.
Oh, Tommy. Thomas Shelby. That's how I'm going to remember that.
Tommy.
Not by that song. Yeah, up until this match, he was very, very dry for me. And even still, like, I don't know, he could have shown a little bit more emotion in the facial expressions for me when he was like doing his dirty at the end there. That being said, though, I also did not like the end. I'm not a ball shot person. I knew there was supposed to be dick kicking at this show, but the wrong dicks got kicked. I was disappointed with that. Yeah. I'm really actually looking forward to seeing Mr. Tommy now with our boy, Son of Irish, top talent. That's gonna be very interesting to see if we can get Soy Boy to bring out more personality from this kid. Because, like, maybe it is just who he's been working, and the other people that he has been working up until this point haven't had that charisma or that ability, that effortlessness that Nate has to be able to make people feel comfortable enough to bring out that personality. So yeah, maybe we'll see it continue. Maybe this is a new thing. Maybe fingers crossed. Let's talk about the next one because I was excited.
Yeah, so we move on to the next one. It's a match I came to this show for. It's Son
Yeah.
of Irish versus the Edmonton return of Camikaze. If you're a PWE fan from way back, you know Camikaze, the insane luchador. Dude, I was so excited to see this dude come back. He's been wrestling a few shows in Calgary and Medicine Hat, and now he's here, and I'm just like, yes. And I got to meet him in intermission, and he remembered who the heck I was. So that was very nice. Good feeling when they remember you.
Mhm.
Cam out wrestling Cody early on, and he actually ties him up,
Mhm.
puts a seatbelt pin on for 2. Um, some fan gave him a rubber chicken, and he's chewing on a rubber chicken, and he's like squeezing it. And you can hear it going work, work, like it's making the sounds.
Yeah. I was actually over by the bar for that point, and I
Yeah.
could hear it. He stole it. He stole it, I believe, from the little old lady who got shotgun candy caned by Goose at the Christmas show. R.I.P. that lady and her candy canes.
Uh,
But yeah, that was a fun little spot. I noticed that too.
yeah. The chops by Cam
Ooh,
to Irish were just like thud, thud, and you're just like, oh, uh,
title.
this beautiful monkey flip out of the corner by Kamikaze. Flips Cody up, and Cody does like a full rotation. It's coming down on his face.
Mhm.
Cody really toning down like his style since like last time I saw him when he turned like since you were saying it's turn on Alice, like he was really like working over holds, choking Cam on
Mhm.
the ropes, wrenching the wrist and playing like with manipulating the wrists and the corners. Um
Mhm.
Irish goes for the three amigos, but on the third amigo, Cam reverses it and he gets the third amigo. Um, uh, uh, Irish slips out of the superplex, hits an IRA, which is the cutter out of nowhere for 2.
Wow,
Um,
that was
Irish,
so good too. So good.
yeah, Irish goes up, goes for the swanton, but he misses, and Cam goes up and hits the top rope headhunter or the Houston Hangover for those of you that are nasty for the win.
Yeah. Yeah, I know he was returning. I didn't know who Cam was. This was before my time in PWA, but I knew this was a big match for Soy Boy.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of a dick, did not appreciate. Um, but yeah, this match was so good for Irish because you're absolutely right. It was a kind of a transition for his style that we've kind of seen. We're used to that aerialness, and he was still doing his aerials. He was just really not as aerially as he usually is, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, take us into what happened after though, because that was where the real
So
OMG moment was.
yeah, so Cam's celebrating. I didn't write any of this down, so I was just enjoying the moment.
Mhm.
And Cody slides in. Like Cody won't shake his hand, and then Cam's getting up on the rope, and Cody slides back in, holding his stick, and he's getting ready to hit Cody. But then the Irishman rolls in and it's like gets in between, and he stops Cody from doing that, and he shoves this kid, and Cody goes out yelling at his dad. Irish turns to Cam. They shake hands, and then Irishman pulls him in, hits the big old spine buster, and then we have Irish and Son of Irish proceed to just stomp the hell out of Kamikaze until we get a how do I say this debuting Matt Styles saving Kamikaze, the son of
Mhm.
promoter Steven Not So Stylish, Steven Not So Many Styles. Um, Matt Styles comes.
Jesus.
Matt Styles coming out to make the save, and this wasn't gonna be the last time we were going to see him on the night too.
Yeah, yeah. I was really at first concerned. I was like, who is this dark horse running in here trying to do this? And what does he think he's going to do in this
No,
situation?
no, you tell the people what you said to me.
What do you mean?
You thought it was a girl. You
I
thought
mean,
Matt
to
was.
be fair, he was
You,
very tall, very slender, and he has long hair from a distance. And because I was also drunk and high at this point, he looked like a girl. Give me a fucking break.
I know. I thought it was funny. That's why I wanted you to say it. I thought it was funny.
Also, like at that point, also then in my head goes, "What's he gonna do?"
and he's got a bat like a plastic bat. He's swinging at them. So
I
yeah,
mean, that was very Momo Watanabe of him, though. I appreciated that.
yeah. But yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what Matt Styles is gonna do with Irish too. With Son of Irish, I look forward to seeing where that goes because I think those two could have because both these kids grew up in a ring. The like Matt's been in a ring since he was a baby. So like I used to watch him when he was like 12. He took a pile driver from Harlon when he returned to RCW a few years ago, and he drove the shit out of the kid. He was like 12 or 13 at the time.
Jeez.
So
Think
yeah,
of the children.
back in like 2017. It was just before he left RCW. So yeah, he can kill the kid with a sick ass pile driver. So yeah, it, that's why Mike. It's like Mike the ref left RCW. I'll tell you that right now. As ref left working with
Mm.
them. But yeah, it's cool to see him in a ring now. So we'll see where he goes.
Mhm.
And
Interesting, yeah.
speaking of the guy who pile drove him, it's time for the RCW Canadian Championship match. It's Harlon Abbott versus Dalton Rogue. And I have two notes for this because I was not feeling good and I had to go to the bathroom. So I missed majority of this match.
Jesus Christ.
So and I don't say this is a bad thing. Like I'm disappointed I missed it because I've watched these two face off a couple times. And these two are phenomenal together. And just wish I had gotten sick during that 6-man tag, honestly, or I wasn't feeling good during that one. So, beautiful super kick and then a pile driver on the apron by Harlon, and then Harlon gets the F5 off the top to Dalton Rogue to get the win. I'll let you speak on anything else you remember from the match if you weren't too drunk and high.
First of all, fuck you.
You're the one that
I
said you
had a
were.
good time. I had a good time. Um, I did remember at one point turning to somebody. I don't remember if it was you or if it was Evan,
I
but I
wasn't
went,
there.
usually, well, I went this way. You were this way. Evan was
Well,
this way.
Eric was that way
Anyway,
too.
we'll see if you recall this conversation. I said that usually at this point, this is a template, usually with Harlan, he's in the crowd. He usually takes it into the crowd, starts throwing things around. We've seen this with countless other people. We saw it with Chris Starr. We saw it with Son of Irish. We saw it with Ohm and MRB. Insert name here. That's what he does. Not with Dalton on this one. And I liked it. It was a wrench in the template because I like not predicting things. But also I have also noticed that Dalton is not somebody I really see in going into the crowd. So I don't know if he probably maybe doesn't prefer the hardcore kind of weapons matches, and I appreciate that
Mhm.
because not a lot of people like that. Um, that trying to remember. I don't think I have anything else. I think I just kind of enjoyed this because this was a very good straight up wrestling match. I
Mm.
did enjoy Dalton's intro music, the
Yeah,
Elvis Presley movie tribute thingamajiggy. I liked that,
yeah. It was from the movie. It was from the Elvis movie with Austin Butler, right?
which was super confusing when Weston King was sitting there recording everything.
Yeah, Weston King, man. It was great to see him out tonight, and it won't be the last time we
Yeah.
talk about him. So we move on to the sixth match before intermission. We got 6 matches before intermission because we're having the Rumble after. So
That's
we have
true, yeah.
the RCW North American Championship. Let me ask you this question: does this mean this title is is more prominent than Harlan's title? Because Harlan has the RCW Canadian Championship. This is the RCW North American Championship. So this is technically the bigger title. This is the more important title because it's for all of North America, not just Canada.
I can agree to that.
Yeah. So
Mm.
so Dean Richter is the top champion in RCW. Then that's what this means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy
So
with that. I can deal with that.
Yeah, so we have Dean Richter defending his title against KB6 and the returning Tony Machete.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
you were excited. I was excited because this year's
I marked the hell out. Me and that lady in front of us, we were just
you were
we were
fangirling.
excited.
You
I
were
was.
fangirling, yeah. Tony Machete, man, with some of the best sling blades I've ever seen in my life, but we didn't get a sling blade at all tonight. Rumble or he
Um,
so disappointed. Um,
mhm.
Beautiful wheelbarrow suplex by KB6 to Machete. Like just he had him and he just swung him like from bottom all
Yeet.
the way over. Just looks so good, man.
Yeah.
This point where Tony's up top, he's biting KB6 and gets the superplex off the top. He's biting him in the forehead and everything.
Don't put it in your mouth.
Dean Richter actually trips Tony up and pulls him under the ropes to crotch him in the corner.
Yeah.
So mean.
Rude.
Dean ends up hitting a German to KB6, who has Tony Machete in the belly to belly position. So
Oh
he is
yeah.
German, which launched Tony with the belly to belly. It looks so good, man.
Really, really good.
And then, as Mel said, Dean Richter went for the flying headbutt, and what did he do when he
I
missed it?
don't. What did I say?
He said he sky sparkled his face. I wrote it down too.
Such a great term. He did. He sky sparkled his face. Yeah. Just nothing but floor and face.
Nothing but Matt, baby. KB6 hits a super kick, and then Tony Machete coming off the top, landing on Dean and spinning her into a spinning, into her swinging flatliner. Looked like kind of a great double team there.
Mm-hmm.
So Tony goes up. KB6 catches Tony on a dive, hits an
Mm-hmm.
FU, and hits a splash. And then Dean comes in, hits the rolling forearm to KB6, picks him up, KOD, and Dean Richter retains the North American Championship to be the #1 champion in RCW. And then after the match, he takes the mic and he gives the inspirational line to all young boys and girls out there. He is the leader. He is the future leader of this world. He says, "Be better, try harder." That is a man who will lead this world in Dean Richter.
That's some wise words from Tokes Folly there, right? He could take that inspiration to Instagram. Yeah, this match I actually really, really enjoyed. Email password was very solid in this one as per usual. He's really good.
Okay, the one thing about calling him email password is 3 characters is not enough. You need a minimum of 8 for an email password. Come on.
I'm sure he would argue differently. But Richter is one of my favorite wrestlers around here. He's so good. Has a very, very, I've mentioned this before to you. It feels like a very strong style that he wrestles,
Mhm,
which obvious I appreciate.
mhm.
Um, Super good to see Tony Machete again, still looking fantastic. It was just such a great match, and I felt a really great way to kind of lead into the Rumble because it
Mhm.
went into intermission, gave everybody a little bit of a break. Really, really fun match. I really, really enjoyed this. I'd love to see more kind of triple threat matches like this for titles.
Yeah, I really, especially when you have 3 guys who have similarities in their styles, but have some dramatic differences in how they do things in their styles. It really works out well.
I agree. I agree.
So we're gonna move on to the main event, the Battleground Rumble. Actually, on intermission, where I got to go speak to Camikaze. Got a hold of a best of Camikaze USB flash drive. He said all the best matches of his career up till I guess he retired. So I got that on a flash drive. Looking forward to watching that. And I know, and Eric's like, you have to lend that to me. And I'm like, oh yes, I will. He will learn the history of Camikaze. That is right. And he gave me the Ultimate Collection. He said everything's on it, so I'm happy. Because he had some other flash drives that didn't have as much on them, so I got the Ultimate Collection. That's what matters. All the best stuff. So we move on to the Rumble. First man out because he had lost his match last month or last show. It's Shaun and Martens. I was cheering like it's heck for him. Let's go, Martens.
Probably someone was.
He is the headline. He headlined this Rumble by being number one. He is the true headline.
Maybe he would have if he won.
He's the headline. And then his opponent is Camikaze. They spent the first almost 90 seconds just posing on the turnbuckles, trying to outdo each other. And we're yelling like, push him off!
Dump him over!
Nobody even tried to dump the other over when they were posing. Like Martin,
it was such an obvious thing.
And then third out was Tony Machete. Fourth out was Son of Irish, and the three like Martens, Tony, and Son of Irish are just all beaten up on Camikaze, just like triple teaming him. And then out comes Jack O'Connor, who just starts throwing kicks to everyone. He doesn't care. He's got no allegiances. He's just kicking everybody. This is where Tony hits
you get a kick, and you get a kick, and you get a kick. We all get kicks.
Yeah, and then this is where Tony gets a beautiful deep six to Son of Irish, which is Baron Corbin's where he's spinning around, then just launches him into that backdrop style move. Loved it.
So good.
And 6 out is Matt Styles. He immediately went after Son of Irish, and they were smacking the crap out of each other. He was going after everybody. 7th out was the creepy clown girl, Peyton Pryce. And I don't mean that. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I actually like this creepy clown girl. She's not one that scares me. So yeah, I don't know what it is.
It's just food. It's just food that creeps you out.
Martens had Styles in the corner at this point, and he's just hitting thudding chops to the kid's chest. Just like I saw him talk to him after, and he didn't have a shirt on, and he like had like the broken blood vessels all over his chest because the kid hasn't taken a lot of chops since. Like so he's got to build that chest callus, right? And it looked rough. His hand I imagine his chest is hamburger meat today.
Yeah.
Yeah. 8th out is the RCW Canadian champion, Harlon Abbott. Matt Styles gets the satellite DDT to Harlon. And this is where after doing this, Martens grabs Matt and just hucks him over the top, tossing him. It was great. Number 9, it's Colten, mother freaking Kelly, baby.
Yeah. We freaked out. It was so great. It was so nice to see Colten.
We were cheering for him. Oh, I love it. And he comes in just wrecking house on everybody. Pile drives the shit out of Son of Irish.
Oh, yeah. Poor soy boy. Poor little soy boy. He just bounced. Jesus.
It looked rough. 10th out is Weston King with his manager, Gussy Jones. So Weston comes in with his crutch, just starts smacking everybody with crutch, and he goes to like overhead, just like hit Harlon, and Harlon ducks out of the way. He hits the ropes, it bounces back in his face, and he's falling around. He's falling, like flailing around. Number 11 just happens to already be a ring. Pardon? Just waiting. And number 11 is already out at ringside. It's Gussy Jones. So Gussy comes in. Harlon threatens to punch him, and he falls, and he's like cowering on the mat. So Gussy ends up on the ropes. Weston goes to hit Harlon, who has Gussy on the ropes. Harlon ducks out of the way, and Gussy Weston clotheslines Gussy over the top rope with the crutch, goes crashing the floor, and then overcomes Martens and Harlon, and they dump Weston over the top to eliminate him. So at this point, you have 3 eliminations so far in the match. So number 12, it's Steve Wilde. Steve, not very wild. Number 13, we have the Irishman comes out, and he's just beating the crap out of everybody. And then number 14 hits, that alarm's going off. It's Azreal. And he comes in. No, he comes in, grabs Peyton, tosses her over the top, and then like elbows her in the face, knocking her to the floor. Choke slams Tony Machete, then just hucks him over the top. Choke slam Jack O'Connor, hucks him over the top. I'm like, no.
We knew he was gonna be the cleaner when we heard his music, though.
Yeah. Number 15, Kyle Shaw, the Canadian Goose, and this is where we're just honking away, honk, honk, honk. And then Camikaze gets tossed out by Azreal. And this is where Goose just goes headbutting and just starts rocking Azreal in the chest. Just these like, if you know anything about the Canadian Goose, it headbutts things. So Kyle's he's just headbutting away, just bang, bang, bang. It was great. Just throwing them to the chest of Azreal. And you can see Azreal like getting pretty kind of like stunned out of it because he's taking it to the chest and the solar plexus. It's affecting him, man. Harlon hits the swing out side effect, the son of Irish here. And then number 16 was a man with conflicting names, especially because of his gear. It's Bryce. But so this guy named Bryce, who's in this white gear, comes out. But he had an S on the back of his tights, and then there was something written on the side. What did it say?
I read Samson Slim. So for the entire match, I was just calling him Slim Shady.
Yeah, I was calling him Super Bryce because of the S, so I was calling him Super Bryce. And then number 17, Tommy Billington, he comes out and he just starts wrecking Goose with lariats. And like Goose literally looked fuzzy after taking them all. And then he gets a hold of Harlon and hits this beautiful snap suplex, man. 18 is Cody Mac. And then he fucking Jesus, goddamn autocorrect. It's written here: Cody elephants Irishman by low bridging him over. Right. Cody eliminates Irishman by doing the low bridge, pulling the rope down, and Irishman goes crashing over the top rope to the floor. Why did it autocorrect to elephant?
We don't want to talk about the elephant in the room, sir. Because it's apparently on your phone.
And then another autocorrect, Hatlin hits that massive like J driller to son of Irish, and then tosses him out. So the Irish, the generation Irish get tossed over the top, and are out. Number 19 is the RCW Alberta Heritage Champion Bobby Sharp. He's out. This is where Azreal chokeslams the shit out of Harlon. Number 20, Impact Wrestling superstar Rouge Singh is out. To any old PWA fans, Fabian Ribeiro, I think was his name. Yeah. He is out. He does the double nip twist to Martens in the corner, and then Rouge tosses out Martin. Then he tosses out Colten Kelly, and we're like, no. We were so
he went from my favorite to my least favorite at that point. We wanted Colten.
Yeah. Number 21 is Chris Starr. He comes in, hits a beautiful sling blade to a Super Bryce Slim Shady. Then a tornado DDT to Harlon Abbott. Azreal hits the big boost to the face of Rouge, and I was like, yeah, it's what he deserves for eliminating Colten Kelly. Next up, the first time we touched tips, it was T.Y. Jackson. And then number 23, we touched tips again. It's Lumberjack Larry Woods. And then Bryce Bryce, Super Bryce Slim Shady, is the man who gets to eliminate Azreal as he gets him over the top and sends him to the floor. Yeah, and then Bobby Sharp tosses and ends up grabbing Bryce and sending him out the other side.
Yeah, he's Slim Shady as he's the real Shady.
And then another time for the tip touch, we got Rich King coming out, my trainer, my boy, my guru, I guess, my guru of workouts. And then the Rads triple team Steve Wilde, sending him out TY eliminates Goose. Larry gets a Bronco Buster in the corner to Starr. And then finally, we get the fourth member of the Rads. Mitch Clarke comes out. There we go. And then we get the quadruple Rads tip touch. All you needed was Ben to roll up into that ring and drop his tip on top, and it would have been perfect. But we didn't get that. Number 26 is Dalton Rogue. Number 27, surprise entrant of the night to me, Sheik Shabazz was here. Wasn't really surprised. I saw his merch on the table. Number 28.
I was surprised. Him and his sparkle boots came.
Yeah, number 28, Mel Shirt, Kat Von Hees comes out. This is where Sheik tosses out Starr, and I'm like, tosses Starr over the top, then punches him in the face to eliminate him. And then finally, the final entrant of the Rumble, number 29. 29 was the final entrant, Rick Jules. For one, why wasn't the 30? And where the hell was Nate?
Yeah, I was disappointed in that also. Nate's been working really, really hard. He held down the fort last year as one of their champions. I would have liked to see him in this.
So, yeah, we're going to go into eliminations here. Cody tosses Bobby out, but Bobby hangs on to the arm of Cody Mac and ends up pulling him over the top. And they kind of get into it on the floor until the refs break them up. And Cody goes to the back, very pissed off about this. Dalton eliminates TY over the top. As again, autocorrect, Harlon Abbott holds Shiek and holding Shiek, and then Rouge gives him the purple nurples. Kat gets Larry in the corner, and she's like slamming his face, and the crowd's chanting 1, 2. She gets to 9, and then Rouge grabs Kat, throws her up, grabs Larry, and he hits the final 10th face slam into the corner. We're like, whoa.
Why you keep stealing other people's stuff?
And then she didn't even get her
from us.
Yeah, she didn't even get her revenge. That's the sad part.
Rude.
Because Dalton and Jules end up tossing out Rouge. Yeah. Or Rouge tosses out Dalton and Jules. I might be wrong here. I read that completely backwards. My brain does not work. Rouge tosses out Dalton. He tosses Jules over the top. Rouge then tosses out Shiek. He then tosses Rich over, trying to eliminate him. But as he's working him, trying to put him over, Mitch comes up and just grabs Rouge, flips him over Rich, who's like skinning the cat and he saves his boy, his rad compatriot. Rich stays in the match. Harlon runs Mitch into Larry, who's on the ropes, and he inadvertently sends Larry over the top to the floor. So Mitch inadvertently eliminated Larry Woods. Kat then tosses Harlon over the top to eliminate him. And this is where the two bottom ropes just sagged out and the top rope got super tight. I was like, ooh, that something happened there. Something released. It was messed up. Kat was pulling at Mitch, or then the mat, I should kind of go on. Kat ends up getting tossed over by Mitch. She had Mitch over, and then Rich came up and dumped the two over, but Kat fell to the floor and Mitch hung on, and Rich starts celebrating like he's won it, and Mitch just rises like a Terminator, and then Rich turns around like, oh shit. And then they go into a really good sequence together. They're each trying to go for these big moves, each is reversing them. But finally, Rich gets, and I asked him, it's the 867 driver. It's the 867 driver, which is like a double spin into a driver, into a driver. Hits that. It's the 867. It's the area code of the Yukon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hits the 867 driver. Rich rolls to the edge. To the edge of the inside of the ring. Rich goes to pick him up, and Mitch just pops up, gets Rich on his shoulders, and just dumps him over the top. to eliminate Rich, and Mitch Clarke is your 2-time winner of this match. He won last year, and he won again this back-to-back victories for Mitch Clarke.
It's a very exciting Rumble.
It
A lot
was
of fun stuff. A lot of little things happening in there. So nice to see Colten Kelly again. I sent you a video of him doing chops with Camikaze for a bit. Oh, there's not a whole lot we can really, I cannot really add to this because you said all the great spots that were memorable, which is good. I was also very indisposed at this point of the night. I was pretty loud and rowdy. My voice is not doing too good today. Probably why I slept in.
loud and rowdy, loud and rowdy, loud and rowdy, loud and
I was,
rowdy.
I was feeling fat and sassy. So we let the Mal ball out last night. It was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great show. I didn't get to chat with a bunch of people after. Caught up with got to get a good catch up with Camikaze. It was really nice to catch up with Mitch after the show too. I haven't talked to him in a while. I caught up with Mitch. I didn't actually get to see Rich anywhere. I didn't get to see my trainer. He didn't appear out on the floor while we were still there, so I was a little disappointed. I get to just catch up with a bunch of different wrestlers. I spoke with Jack O'Connor, telling him he's doing a good job. The guy is really coming along, man. He's becoming a pretty good. And he has that kickboxing background and MMA fight and MMA stuff. So I think he's also does jiu-jitsu. So he's got a good background. So
yeah, I agree.
And but it was really nice to talk to everybody after. I get to chat with Claire, one of my friends. Just got to really see some people I haven't talked to in a long time. So it's nice to get back out to other shows outside of Top Talent and Love Pro Wrestling because we catch up with some people I haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah. We got to see Shauna. Our good friend Shauna was there. Ronnie was there. Twins Vicky and Mandy were there. It's Salim's birthday today as we're filming this.
Happy birthday, Salim.
Happy birthday, Salim. You know who we missed, though?
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah. So that's 2 RCW shows I've been to in a row, Jason. No, you were at the last RCW show. This is the second show in a row that I've been to. You missed LPW. So I didn't get to take a picture with you there in your costume. You missed.
It's a shoot job, though. We gotta give him some leeway.
Dude. You have vacation days. You gotta. I worked in. I'm just about done working in my retail job. You can ask for unpaid days off, and they will give them. Most companies will give them to you if you have events you want to do. That's what I do to make sure. That's what I was always doing to make sure I got the wrestling shows. Come on, Jason, pick up your game, boy. If I don't see you at Top Talent next week, I'm going to be.
The guilt train is strong here.
I haven't taken a picture with you yet this year, bro. I need to get pictures in because I'm going to start taking pictures with other fans that are dressed up. Because I will. If you don't start showing up dressed up, I will give your award to somebody else, dude. I'm sorry. I will give that award to another person.
That's a threat.
This is a warning. You just because it's the Jason Cosplay Award. It's named in honor of you. It's not your award, buddy.
Oh, Andre, you've been going in on these chop talks this week.
Yep.
Yowza.
Yeah,
all right, Andre, let's take it into the finish here.
So I'm going to put the banners up because I haven't had a banner up all show. You can find me on the X Mastodon, Blue Sky, and Hive at That Candidate, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at That Candidate. You can find me on Facebook at Andre Melball Wrestling Talk. You can find me on YouTube right here at Andre Melball Wrestling Talk. Or if you're watching on Backbreaker Video, you can find me at Andre Melball Wrestling Talk on YouTube. You can also find us over at Sunday Night's Main Event, where our Japanese wrestling content is streamed in audio form. So check that out. SundayNightsMainEvent.com or Patreon.com/SNRadio. In any of your podcast catchers, you can just search up SNME Radio, and you'll find it. And you can subscribe to the channel. Lots of great content going over there, covering everything from A to Z in professional wrestling, even covering old continental wrestling from like the 70s and 80s. Steve Swift doing a
Ooh.
great show over there, going back in the history of professional wrestling. So check that out. I love that show, actually. It's a really fun one. Learning a lot about wrestling I had no idea about.
Mm-hmm.
You can also find me over at our local establishment. You can find me at twitch.tv/our local establishment, where I'm doing Marvel talk with my boy, old Ed. I do Japanese wrestling update with this girl right here, my girl, Melba. We have our Japanese wrestling update. We try to get it out every Friday, but we did our first live this past Friday. It was really fun, but the next one
Mm-hmm.
will be pre-recorded because we'll be at Top Town Pro Wrestling this upcoming
Mm-hmm.
Friday. We're actually probably have to record that on Wednesday because I got plans on we got plans on the Thursday and the Friday and the Saturday. I got plans on the Saturday. So Jesus, I'm busy.
Look at you.
You get busy. You get busy when you don't have a job anymore. It's weird.
Go figure.
You can also find I got my Marvel talk over there at our local establishment. I also got the MCU rebound that I'm doing with Old Ed, so check that out. We'll be back this month in February with We'll be a MCU rebound of Iron Man Iron Man 2.
Ooh.
Looking forward to that. Going to be with Ivan Ivanko. Whiplash will be in. We're going to talk about him and a lot of controversy around that character because they morphed two characters together to make it. So I admire love that character. So, and then you can also check us out at Backbreaker Video, youtube.com/@Backbreaker Video from all the great wrestling content from Mike puts out over there, us and others. Lots of great content there. If you want to see him live, go to twitch.tv/Mike the Rep. Or you can find all his great gaming content with AEW watch-alongs on Wednesday. And if you want replays of his wonderful gaming content, go over to youtube.com/@backbreaker_gaming to check that out. And you can find him, Mr. Rick Jules, Mr. PJC, and their freaking guest, Kayla J.
Kayla J. Love Kayla J.
Love Kayla J.
Love Kayla J.
Melball, where can they find you?
If you're wanting to follow a Melball, you can follow her on the X thing at Collins Melball. You can follow her on everything else: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, and Blue Sky at Melball Call. You can also catch me on our local establishment with, as Andre mentioned, the Japanese wrestling update, and very soon some spooky ooky-ish. So you want to stick to the socials to see about that. You can also catch me on Astra Pizarro's YouTube channel, where we do our show, Ladies Wrestling Showcase.
Sorry, I had some interesting news breaking on my phone that I had to respond to.
Oh, well, we'll save that for Wednesday, won't we?
We
Anyway,
will.
Astra Pizarro's YouTube channel, where we do our show, Ladies Wrestling Showcase. We just dropped an episode talking about some of the amazing things happening in women's wrestling, as well as some of the controversy happening. So you want to go check that out. What else? What else? If you're wanting... Oh, wait. No, that's everything. If you're wanting to watch any local wrestling, you can go to RCW's Facebook page, Real Canadian Wrestling, where you can find a link to is it Eventbrite? I always forget this one.
Eventbrite.
You can get their Eventbrite list, or you can contact some of your favorite local professional wrestlers for tickets, because that helps them look good to the promoter. Tickets are usually $20 in advance. They go up at the door, so get your tickets in advance. And get to the door early, because they have been busy, busy, busy. And if you want to sit with a big group, get there early.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sit with us.
Yeah, come sit with the cool kids. My trusted friend and colleague, do you have anything else to say to the beautiful people?
Again, I just want to thank y'all for all the great support. Please keep liking the video, subscribing to the channel, commenting down below, sharing us out to all your friends, family, neighbors, strangers, and the weird people on the internet. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can alert every time we drop a new video.
Ding dong.
No, it's after 9 o'clock. No.
It's a bit late. It's a bit sketch. Sus.
Yeah.
Very sus.
Yeah.
And that being said, I am your mama. Over there is Andre. We will see you next time.